All right, so we're gonna just conclude with the UEFA Conference League, right? And history has been made. Yeah, that's what I can tell you. History has been made because Ollie Watkins, he has scored 6 goals for Aston Villa in the UEFA Europa Conference League this season, and Aston Villa trashed Ajax, at a raucous Villa Park to actually move into the Europa Conference League quarterfinals. Basically, as for Aston Villa, that is like now their first appearance in the last 8 of a major European competition since 1998. And it was actually goals from Ollie Watkins, Leon Bailey, as well as the substitute, Jhon Durán, as well as Moussa Diaby, that sealed a thoroughly deserved victory on a memorable night for the Aston Villa fans. One thing that I find so surprising and so puzzling is that this Ajax team is just not the Ajax we all know. It's not the Ajax that we saw during Erik ten Hag's time. It's not the Ajax that has always shown that they can be competitive, in any major European competition. From that Ajax that we saw in the 2018-2019 season, it's a whole completely different Ajax. It seems like this Ajax is really, it has lost the spark. Even Jordan Henderson can't do anything to rescue it. Perhaps next season will be another season for them, or a better season for them. It finished 0-0 in the first leg in the Netherlands, and Watkins scored his 22nd goal of the season in all competitions. And, he superbly headed in the ball from a Douglas Luiz right-wing corner in the 25th minute, And then the England striker, remember he was named in Gareth Southgate's, 3-Lion squad for the Wembley friendlies against Brazil and Belgium. He succumbed to an injury and he had to be stretched off in the 33rd minute of the game. And the 4-time European champions Ajax nearly scored an equalizer in the 5th minute of the first-time injury time. And, Matty Cash did accidentally to actually clear on Brian Brobby's, effort off the line with keeper Emiliano Martinez well beaten. Ajax were then captained by England midfielder Jordan Henderson in his first club match in the country since leaving Liverpool last season, as he joined Saudi Arabian side, Al Fatih, only to move to Ajax in January. What Jordan Henderson stated, he stated that, he was not enjoying his football in Saudi Arabia. So that's the reason why he decided, no, he's going to move back to Europe. And it was actually him who lost possession in the build-up to Villa's second goal. When Bailey was actually producing a great skill, he did some 2-step overs to actually create some space for himself, and then he drilled the ball into the back of the net. Ajax had a midfielder, Sivert Mannsverk, sent off for 2 bookable offenses in the 66th minute of the game, and Durán blasted in a third for Aston Villa, with the ball going in off the underside of the crossbar. And then Diaby slotted in a 4th 9 minutes from time to actually confirm their progress to the last 8. And the Europa League, the draw for the Europa Conference League quarterfinals and semifinals and final will all take place on Friday, the 15th of March. So at the UEFA headquarters in Nyon, Switzerland. So we will see who Villa's opponents will be in the next round. But let me just say, Emery did so well. It's another masterclass from Unai Emery, guiding Aston Villa to a memorable night. Unai Emery, he has won the Europa League on 4 occasions in his career. 3 times with Sevilla, which was in 2014, 2015, as well as 2016, consecutively. And he did it with the Yellow Submarine of Villarreal in 2021. He also took Arsenal to the final in 2019, only losing out to their London rivals, Chelsea in Baku, And this result continues his incredible job at Villa, who were only out of the Premier League relegation zone on goal difference when they sacked Steven Gerrard and brought in the Spaniard. Emery now has won 15 of his 25 league matches, to take the club up to 7th and back into Europe after a 13-year absence. But Villa, European winners in 1982, will now be playing in a major European quarterfinal for the first time since going out on away goals in the last 8 of the UEFA Cup against Atletico Madrid 26 years ago. Before the game, Emery called the match, he described it as another wonderful opportunity against one of the biggest and most historic clubs in European football. And adding this is what made Aston Villa, fans relish this particular opportunity and enjoy this moment. He did urge the fans to actually play their part, play their part as the 12th man, and they certainly did, with the match played in a superb atmosphere at a sold-out stadium. After a pre-game interactive, live show, pitchside flamethrowers and fireworks to build up the frenzy amongst the home fans, Villa were indeed the better side, I can say, and had seen Bailey and Diaby go close before Watkins scored as well. And the striker had earlier needed some lengthy treatment after he slid in and caught visiting goalkeeper Durán, with Watkins only able to, continue after his left leg as well as his knee, was heavily strapped with a cut as the cause. But Watkins, he has scored 3 goals in 9 appearances for England. Still, he had time to actually make his mark. And, his goal, he took that goal superbly. But not long afterwards, he had been helped off the pitch by Bailey, with both Champions League chasing Villa and England, hoping that his injury is not too serious, especially with the Euro 24 starting in exactly 3 months' time. Watkins' replacement Durán shot just wide with 2 efforts, but before Villa ran riot with 3 second-half goals to actually seal their passage into the next round. And again, man of the moment, Jordan Henderson. It was now a tough night for him. It's a tough return for him to England, because Henderson and his uncapped Villa defender Ezri Konsa were also named in the England squad, although Konsa did not feature at Villa Park and he was suspended following a red card in the first leg in Netherlands. And Henderson, he's got 81 caps for England. He was booed every time he touched the ball by the home fans, who also shunted about him being greedy in reference to his Saudi move. It had also been it was a major struggle for him so far in the Netherlands, because the 33-year-old, he captained Liverpool to Champions League glory in 2019. And he has now played 8 games for Ajax and they've only won once, with 5 draws and 2 losses. He played a delightful first-time ball, over the top, only for Brobby to be denied by excellent defending, but was also crucially robbed of possession, before Villa, scored the second goal, and it turned out to be a very painful evening for the England man. And let me just say it, experience does count, but I guess maybe Henderson, he's just not at his best at the moment. And I think that move to Saudi just did not do him any favors. It just did not help his cause, because he's just not, in it. He's not doing what he's supposed to. He's not doing what we normally expect him to do, so that's also one thing that we just hope that maybe he will be able to rediscover that form that, led him to actually become a formidable player, in that Liverpool squad that won the 2019 Champions League and went on to win the Premier League the following season. But in other results, to say the least, we did see Fenerbahce, progressing, even though they lost 1-0, to Union Saint-Gilloise of Belgium. Fiorentina also did, last season's finalists, Fiorentina did advance to the quarterfinals, winning via penalty shootout against Maccabi Haifa after, a 1-1 draw after extra time. And yes, it was aggregate. On aggregate, Fiorentina won by 5 goals to 4 on aggregate, So against Maccabi Haifa, and then we saw Greek side PAOK also advancing to the next round, defeating Croatian giants 5-1. Croatian giants Dinamo Zagreb by 5 goals to 1, resulting in a 5-3 aggregate scoreline. And then Victoria Plzen advancing to the next round, defeating Sivert by 3 goals to 1 on penalties after both legs resulted in a goalless draw. And then Club Brugge of Belgium advanced to the next round, defeating Molde by 3 goals to 0, clinching victory via 4-2 aggregate. And then French giants Lille also did advance through to the next round, winning by 4 goals to 1 on aggregate against SK Sturm. And then Olympiacos also did advance to the next round, defeating Maccabi Tel Aviv of, Israel by 7-5 on penalties. And they actually defeated the home side 6-1 in Israel on the night. So those are actually the teams that made it through to the next round of the Europa Conference League.